Okay, so today I'm going to be asking about if the drinking age in America should stay at 21 or if it should be younger. Currently, the drinking age in America is 21. However, at 18, you are considered an adult and are able to smoke, get married, join the military, be sued, vote, and much more. Since this is the case, do you believe the drinking age makes sense?
I think the drinking age should be 21. At 18, you're still young and very immature and not capable of making decisions that you would be when you're intoxicated. So I believe you need to be a little bit more mature. So I believe 21 is the right drinking age.
So you think it should remain the same,
Yes.
not lowered?
Not lower.
Do you believe that if the drinking age were 18, there would be less drunk driving and other deaths and unfortunate situations in regard to drinking?
No, like I said before, if the drinking age was age 18, people would be immature and not understand that they can't drive because they're intoxicated.
So if the drinking age is 21 and remains at 21, do you think the legal age to buy cigarettes, join the military, get married, and so on should be raised as well?
No, I think that being in the military is more of a decision based on who you are and your capabilities of strength. Cigarettes, I believe, should possibly be raised to 21 because that's also the same thing that people don't realize what they're getting themselves into at a young age.
Do you think teens drink so much in high school and college because the drinking age is older than in other countries?
I don't think that it has anything to do with drinking age. I think it has to do with the rate at which people mature and what people see. And kids in high school, as they get older, they see more people drinking because they have older siblings and stuff like that. So I think that's a major factor in why people drink at younger age.
And if the drinking age was to be lowered to 18, do you think there would still be underage drinking?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Because it's just like a snowball effect, and if something is lowered, then the next group of people are just going to do the same thing and think that it's okay because people maybe a year or two older than them started drinking.
Did you know that in certain states, if a parent is present or you're on private property in a religious environment or in regard to education, you are legally able to drink? If this is the case in certain states, does your opinion regarding the drinking age change at all?
No, because these kids are still with their parents and they're being supervised by their parents, and their parents will make sure that they aren't drinking too much and binge drinking where that it will make it a problem.
What's your opinion in regard to drunk driving if kids are able to enter bars with their parents and drink and maybe then leave their parents' side?
Well, they shouldn't be able to leave their parents' side if they're going into the bar. Their parents should have total supervision over them to make sure that they aren't getting too drunk and stuff like that.
Do you think the drinking age should be up to the country as a whole, or should each individual state choose their drinking age?
It could be up to the country as a whole because you could have friends in other states and stuff like that will try and influence their friends and make them drink at younger ages. So I think if everything was the same age in each state, we would have more of a common ground for drinking.
If the drinking age was lowered, do you believe we would see more activity amongst drug use, or are the two unrelated?
I think that drinking is a gateway drug into doing other drugs, and kids start experimenting first with alcohol and then they try and find new things. So I think if it was lowered, it would definitely cause more use of drugs.
Do you believe as humans we are far more mature and able to make smarter decisions at 21 than we are at 18, or do you think it just depends on the person individually?
Well, it obviously depends on the person individually, but 3 years is a major difference. You experience a lot more things, so I think you are definitely way more mature at 21 to make that decision.
If the drinking age was younger, do you believe there would be less binge drinking?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because it's just the same thing. It's people will experiment more and want to use alcohol more with their friends.
Some people believe that having the drinking age at 21 affects the economy in regard to tourism. Do you believe this to be true?
It could affect the economy and tourism because people come from other countries that are used to drinking at a younger age, but it shouldn't have a major effect for us.
Do you think the government would ever consider changing the drinking age in regard to the economy?
They could. The government always finds new ways to make money, so it could be a possibility. I'm not really too sure about that.
Underage drinking is extremely common in America, especially on college campuses. Often when someone is caught underage drinking by police, he or she only receives a small ticket or no punishment at all. If this is true, then why should the drinking age remain at 21 if it's not even fully enforced?
Well, I believe that the drinking age should stay at 21 even without police activity. As you can see, like, police don't enforce every law. They might not want to ruin someone's life and something like that. And police are biased on who they think should get a ticket and who shouldn't.
As I'm sure you know, alcohol companies are constantly coming up with new flavors of alcohol and new types of drinks that seem fun and cool to a younger crowd. Do you believe the commercials for these products and these products in general are almost enabling underage drinking?
I do. I think the different flavors and everything that comes out by these alcohol companies are targeted for a younger audience, and these sugary drinks and everything make it seem like that it's okay for kids to drink and stuff like that, and they don't realize the repercussions of what's actually inside these bottles of alcohol.
So, in regard to that, do you think that government officials should be monitoring alcohol companies more strictly and should only allow them to produce certain types of alcohol?
I do and I don't. I do because I think that these companies are targeting these younger audiences, but the government will not be able to tell these alcohol companies what type of flavor and what type of alcohol they can and cannot produce.
Do you believe the drinking age just makes teens want it more as it is illegal?
I think it does make teens want it more because teens love to break rules, but being that the drinking age is 21, it's that for a reason. There's been studies that prove why 18-year-olds and young adults aren't capable of drinking alcohol, as it has effects on their development of their brain and stuff like that.
So if the drinking age was 18, you believe there would still be illegal drinking and underage drinking?
I do. I think that teens love to break rules. They love to have a way of getting away from things and stuff like that, so I think that it would stay the same.
If the drinking age was lower when teens still live at home, do you think it would be a safer environment to start drinking as parents could teach their children to drink responsibly?
I don't think the drinking age has anything to do with that. I think people will still drink irresponsibly no matter what. I think if the parents want to teach their kids how to drink responsibly at a younger age, it's on them, but I don't think the drinking age itself will have any effect on that.
Currently, the drinking age in America is 21. However, at 18, you are considered an adult and are able to smoke, get married, join the military, be sued, vote, and much more. Since this is the case, do you believe the drinking age makes sense?
No, I don't believe the drinking age makes sense if this is the case, because I think that if you're able to do many of those things, then you should definitely be able to purchase alcohol at the least.
So if you were to lower the age, what would it be?
I think that the drinking age should be 18 because that's how it used to be, and I feel as if the drinking age would be lower, that someone in the military perhaps would be able to take a drink, which should be very fair.
Do you believe that if the drinking age were 18, there would be less drunk driving and other deaths and unfortunate situations in regard to drinking?
I do think that there would be less unfortunate situations. I don't know if I think that it would help the drunk driving case, because I think if people are making the dumb decision to drunk drive at the age of 21 or older, that they would probably make the same decision as at 18. But I think that if they were drinking at a younger age and drinking for a longer time, that maybe even like being with your family and drinking could help stop that kind of situation.
If the drinking age were to remain at 21, do you think the legal age to buy cigarettes, join the military, get married, and so on should be raised as well?
I don't think that the age to join the military should be changed, because if you want to fight for our country at that age, that you should be able to. But I think that the age for cigarettes should definitely be changed, because, I mean, if you're going to buy something that's so bad for you, you should be able to buy alcohol, which might not even be as bad for you, and it's certainly not as addictive without an addictive behavior.
Do you think teens drink so much in high school and college because the drinking age is older than other countries, or do you believe if the drinking age was 18, there would still be underage drinking?
I do think that there would still be underage drinking because people all over the country do drink at very, very young ages, but I don't think that there would be as much underage drinking because you wouldn't have to wait as long to get to that point.
Did you know that in certain states, if a parent is present or you're on private property in a religious environment or in regard to education, you are legally able to drink? If this is the case in certain states, does your opinion regarding the drinking age change at all?
Yes, because I think that those, like, not offensively, but I think that a lot of those are just excuses to be drinking. So if you can come up with all of those legal reasons, then you can really come up with any reason that drinking at a younger age should be allowed.
Do you think the drinking age should be up to the country as a whole, or should each individual state choose their drinking age?
I do think that the drinking age should be thought of by the country, because if the case was where it was state by state, there might be many situations where younger people are traveling across neighboring state lines in order to get a drink, and they would drive to this next state. They would drink for however long and then have to drive back, which would, in the long run, maybe create more problems of drunk driving and more sneaking around.
If the drinking age was lower, do you believe we would see less or more activity amongst drug use, or are the two unrelated?
I think for the most part, the two are unrelated. I think that if people are using drugs, that might just always be the case. But I would guess I say only in extreme cases would it be the case where the two are related, because it would lead to the signs of addictive behavior.
Do you believe as humans we are far more mature and able to make smarter decisions at 21 than we are at 18?
Yes, I think that people are mature at the age of 21. But I think that maybe if people were learning to drink at a younger age, they would have more knowledge about alcohol, and they wouldn't just drink so heavily as they got older, because they would just have more knowledge about the drinks.
So if the drinking age was 18, do you believe there would be less binge drinking and more for enjoyment?
I do think that this is the case, that there would be less binge drinking. I think that you binge drink at a younger age when you're trying to go to a party or go to an event, and it would kind of just get out of people's systems if they had started at a younger age. People wouldn't heavily pregame all the time, and they would just start to drink at the party or have a casual drink throughout whatever event you're at.
Some people believe that having the drinking age at 21 affects the economy in regard to tourism. Do you believe this to be true and something that the government should consider?
I don't know how many more tourists would actually come to America if the drinking age was lower, because they are allowed to drink whenever they want, and they would just stop drinking when they came to America. But it could be more enticing, like a more enticing offer to come visit America, go to the bars with your friends, and do whatever. And that's another way to explore a country, I guess. So it would possibly bring some more people.
Underage drinking is extremely common in America, especially on college campuses. Often when someone is caught underage drinking by police, he or she only receives a small ticket or no punishment at all. If this is true, then why should the drinking age remain at 21 if it's not even fully enforced by police?
I think that even though these are some small infractions, they can still be very stressful and time-consuming and a lot to deal with, maybe with college counselors, or still you would have to purchase lawyers, which would be very expensive. But I do think that if the punishments were more severe, that it would just be overwhelming for the entire police force. They would just have that much more to deal with, and many more things, people in jail or anything like that they would just have to deal with even more.
Since the police don't fully enforce the drinking age, should it be lowered so that there's less underage drinking?
Yes, I do think that it should be lowered for that reason. So it's just not so many people patrolling around campuses or looking out for things that are a little bit unnecessary, when they could be focusing on things that are more necessary for the police, rather than patrolling college campuses and going through parties where things might not be wrong.
As I'm sure you know, alcohol companies are constantly coming up with new flavors of alcohol and new types of drinks that seem fun and cool to a younger crowd. Do you believe the commercials for these products and these products in general are almost enabling underage drinking?
Yes and no. I think that these products are pretty exciting for younger kids because they think that something sounds good, or something, you think that if you tried this drink, it would taste like something else you like. But I also think that they have a pretty good idea of alcohol is alcohol and it tastes like this or it tastes like this. So I don't know how forced you would be to actually drink the product, but maybe it sounds a little bit cool.
Do you believe the drinking age just makes teens want it more as it is illegal?
Yes, I do think that the drinking age being higher is kind of pressuring for kids to want to drink lower. I think that it's a little more exciting and you feel like you're breaking all the rules if you can do something that's a little secretive and against the law. And it also kind of pushes people to drink a lot in private and before any event that you're going to because you don't want to get in trouble while you're actually out. So it might just force people to do everything a little bit more than you would if the drinking age were lower.
If the drinking age was 18, would there still be illegal and underage drinking, or would people not find the need to drink as the age is not so old?
I think that people would definitely wait longer and not be forced to start drinking maybe their freshman year of high school or anything like that. But I do think that there still would be underage drinking because I think all over the country there's people that start drinking at a very young age. So I think that it would kind of go both ways.
If the drinking age was lower when teens still live at home, do you think it would be a safer environment to start drinking as parents could teach their children to drink responsibly?
I do think that if people were drinking at a younger age, that they would start to drink with their family, maybe around the dinner table or drink with their parents at dinner, and their parents would know when to stop them, or you would just, if something was wrong where you drank too much, your parents would be the one to handle it, and you'd be able to talk about it with them more openly rather than you drinking all this behind their back and hiding. So I think that there would definitely be a safer environment if people were able to start drinking with their families.